Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Learn GeoGuessr with me, where I'm going to take you along with me while I practice and learn various parts of GeoGuessr and try and improve. Last time we did Eastern Europe training, where I was trying to get better at Eastern Europe. Today there's another region that I really need a lot of practice in, and that is Latin America. So Eastern Europe's not going away. I'm sure it's going to come back because I'm still not perfect, as you will have seen with the last video. There are many things I need to get better at. But Latin America is another area where I really need a lot of practice region guessing. So once again, I made a map called Latin America Training. Link will be in the description. The idea is that, again, there's 5,000 locations each in Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay. I didn't include some of the islands and Guatemala, mostly because I'm fairly okay with those with regard to the car meta. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do an episode on it, that I can, teach you some aspects of car meta in the islands if you need it, or if you want it. But for now, I need practice in Latin America, so that's what we're going to do. So, as before, I'll cut the video up a little bit so that you get mostly good information and not me just wrongly guessing around and not learning anything. And obviously any rural location where I don't get any information, I'll obviously give my thoughts, but we'll see what I include and what I don't. But for now, let's just get straight into it. As always, or as before, I've got a lot of tabs open at the top to Plunkett and GeoTips, which I'm going to use to try and get some learning experiences as we go along. So let's start, and we start off in, well, that's what we're trying to find out. It does say Quito here though, so that would imply we are in Ecuador. Quito obviously is the capital of Ecuador. Ecuador and Colombia, differentiating between the two, I need to get a bit better at. The main difference being, of course, the yellow plates, which you would find in Colombia. There was a yellow plate back there, so I am going to go along a little bit and see if I can see another car, because this may be a bait and be on like the Colombian-Ecuador border. Poles, something I need to learn perhaps a little bit. But I think we're just going to go Ecuador here. We saw Quito. We don't want to mess around. And it was Ecuador. I think that could have been a taxi or something like that with the yellow plate. Probably not, actually. It was like a Jeep. It could have been just a visitor from Colombia. But let's move on for now. So we have got here, well, we got more signs, but the first thing I'm noticing is all white road lines. We have also, of course, got Gen 4 footage. So Gen 4 footage, I believe, obviously it's Gen 4 because of the sort of very bright, very colorful, very exposed picture or image. And the blue car is typical of Gen 4, I believe, at least in Latin America. So Gen 4, I think, is Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, and maybe Chile. So because of the all-white road lines, I was thinking Chile, because that's something quite typical in Chile, but it could be Mexico. And if we look at the... Okay, so this might be one of those ones where we're going to look at the highway sign and see if that matches up. It doesn't. So perhaps we are in Mexico. Neither of them match up. Based on the all-white road lines, I'm somewhat tempted to go Chile or Argentina. Right, okay. Interesting. Oh, it says, yeah, okay, Cordoba and... Well, it's Argentina. I was just trying to read the sign. I'm going to guess there. Right, and let's have a look at what Plunkett says about Argentina. Mainly dash white, double yellow, or a mix between. Okay, so you can see all white road lines in Argentina. That's good to know. We were in Rosario, by the way. What else would have given us Argentina here? That's really the question. This is quite a tricky location, I would have said, but you know, some of the pros probably would look at this and say, "Oh, it's obviously Argentina." Okay, so the rectangular reflectors, yellow and red rectangular reflectors. Let's see if we can see those. Ah, we can. We can indeed. Okay, so maybe that was what I could have used there. That we've got the reflectors in the guardrail. Is there anything else that might have been useful? Maybe not, but that's maybe a good indication. So something to remember there, the reflectors in the guardrail. Right, so here, what have we got? Have we got, is this another Gen 4? I don't recognize the car, actually. Can't tell if it's white, black, or blue. It looks kind of probably blue or something like that. It looks to me fairly southern, like Chile, I would have thought. I don't know though. To be honest, I might just guess southern Chile. Yeah, okay, it was correct. But yeah, hard to tell with that one. Right, so we've got, is this all yellow road lines? That's interesting. S95. I will have a look at that sign in a second, but I want to try and make an educated guess before that. I wonder if that's Ecuadorian, that pole. I might be completely wrong. Oh, I've not seen this. Oh, it's red Interlagos. That Interlagos is, I think this is actually Brazil. Is the sign back black? No. I'm not actually sure. I think it's probably Brazil. You know what? The sign doesn't. Maybe it's just. I actually have no clue with this one. I really don't have a clue. I feel like it could easily even be Mexico. Kind of felt. Yeah, it looks fairly dry as well. I think I would go Mexico here. I was wrong. Very wrong. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, so all white or all yellow. Okay, that's actually something I had heard about. Yeah, you will almost never see a combination of the two colors. All yellow road lines are seen in national parks or areas of high snowfall. I had read that Chile has all yellow road lines in some places, and I think if you see all yellow in South America, it only can be Chile. I don't think you would have a combination in other countries. So that's something I should have remembered, but that's the point of this series, so we continue. So we got a white car, quite a dry desert location. My first thought is, well, it's got to be Peru or Bolivia. It could be Chile, actually, but yellow road lines. Well, actually, do we have a yellow outer line? It's quite hard for me to tell here. I'm going to go a bit further down and have a look at the signs. Okay, so that to me looks very similar to the sign we saw in the last round, which would make me think we're actually in northern Chile. And I am actually going to go for northern Chile. I might be wrong here. I'm not. Okay, that's good to know. So Chile obviously has a very diverse landscape from one part of the country to another. This location, obviously very different from the previous one. That sign, though, is what kind of gave it to me, because I was thinking Peru or Bolivia for the other ones. Peru and Bolivia both would have typically a wooden sign, and Peru, I think, would have black and white usually, and Bolivia would have some sort of wooden pole, I think usually quite thick. So that's why I went Chile there. Obviously, previous round helped. So just to give you an insight. So that's a decent start. We will move on and play again. So we got all white road lines here. So I wonder if, again, we are just in Chile. Some interesting bollards there. Obviously, it's a blue car. So where's the sun? Sun is, it looks like probably northwest, west-northwest. Part of me is wondering whether this could be Mexico. Telling Mexico apart from the other countries is still difficult for me. I think I'm still going to go northern Chile. Yes, okay, I was correct. I guess you would probably see this location. It does look a little more... It looks a little different from what I would imagine a Mexican desert to look like. But I've not had enough experience guessing in Mexican deserts yet, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, next location. Are we in Brazil? We are, yes. So the reason we know we're in Brazil here is just because of the language has the A with the line above it. I don't know what the name of the letter is. Of course, we've also got the black-backed signs. Very nice looking location. Some big mountains in the distance. My instinct would be go south. I still need to... I'm going to do a video at some point about region guessing Brazil, because I think that's a very important thing to learn in GeoGuessr meta, because the better you get at it, that can really get you a lot in joules. Anyways, we're going to guess south. So it was very close to Rio. Not too far away, but obviously could be a lot better there. Right, very dry location. We have got a black car. So black car would mean we're in Uruguay, Argentina. Clicked on Argentina and said Uruguay. So Uruguay, Argentina, or Peru. I mean, it looks more Peruvian, like more like southern Peru. Having said that, Peru I find so difficult to tell the difference between north and south. This could easily be North Peru. Because of black car, I don't think it can be Bolivia. Let's have a look at this sign. Where was it? Okay, so it's metal sign. I think I'll just go southern Peru. And it was very southern Argentina. I guess because the signpost was metal was probably a good indicator that we were in Argentina instead. Let's have a look at that location again. It was actually fairly south, I would say. Well, middle of the country, let's say. Okay, that's interesting, and that's good to know that the middle of the country can look like that, because I didn't really know that. Okay, we move on. We have got a Colombia here, I think. Yep, definitely Colombia. Yellow plates, and we've got the classic Colombian cross on the back of the sign. Those are your two main indicators that you're in Colombia. So we'll just guess there. Very mountainous. So obviously the mountains, I think, are these the Andes? I can't remember. It probably is the Andes. Yeah, it probably is the Andes because they stretch all the way down. Probably somewhere in those mountain ranges. So yeah, it was a fairly decent guess. Okay. Right, so we've got the Colombian cross. However, we don't have yellow plates. That maybe is going to be a bait, or not, or not. You don't know for sure. I'd be tempted to just stay Colombia here. It was Ecuador. Okay, that's good to know that you can see those plates in Ecuador. Or sorry, not the plates, the cross on the back of the sign. What have we got here? Is that perhaps an... Yeah, okay, so we've got an octagonal, I think it's octagonal, utility pole here. So that is typically Mexico, the most commonly used in Mexico. I think you can also see them in, I want to say Ecuador. Let's see if GeoTips has anything to say about that. Can you see? Maybe not. I'm sure I've heard Zigzag say before that there are octagonal poles in Ecuador as well, but they're most commonly found in Mexico. So this is Mexico. As far as where in Mexico, oh, we can. Another way we can potentially tell if it'll let us see this sign, which I don't think it's going to. If we could see this stop sign, we would probably be able to tell because it would say Alto on it, but we can't see it. So let's just guess in Mexico. It looks reasonably dry. I think I would just guess somewhere here. Maybe I should have thought about that a bit more carefully. I think this is probably going to be more green. More north tends to be more dry, I think. Okay, what have we got here? I think this is probably going to be Mexico again. We got the double white lines with the yellow divider. Metal poles on the signs. I think this is going to be Mexico. Somewhere down here. Yep, we were correct. Decent guess as well. Moving on, we got another Gen 4 coverage. I think. Chemarauto? So blue sign. Brazil uses blue signs. Does Chile use blue signs? I don't think they do. Let's see. Have we got the reflectors? We haven't got the reflectors, so probably not Argentina. I would be tempted by Brazil here, I think. Let's go Brazil. Yeah. Just had to think about it a little carefully because I think blue signs probably the most common in Brazil. Where's our plonket? Yeah, so blue road markers. It doesn't say anything about signs. It obviously says about the road markers, but not about the signs. I'm sure. I think Chile. Did Chile use green? There's a good graphic. This is why Plunket's so good. There's a great graphic here about what biomes you're going to see. So yeah, nothing about sign color, but I think they tend to be green in Chile. Okay, we got a very desert location or deserty location. All white road lines. I need to. This is something I will do for next time. I won't do for this time, but learning the sizes of number plates. Different South American countries do use different lengths of number plates, and you can tell from the number plate. The thing I'm noticing here is that double-legged sign. So I think we're just in Chile again. Note we've also got all white road lines. So yeah, we were in fairly northern Chile. Oh, I've accidentally clicked on it. Yeah. Okay. Next up. Okay, so this is a good one. This is just Peru with the black and white striped poles, fairly thick. As far as part of Peru, I'm tempted to say this is north. I feel like fairly dry mountains, but also got green on them. So I will go north. I was wrong. It's south. We don't have a Plonket guide yet for Peru. When we do, I will probably do a video on Peru, doing specifically region guessing. As I said, I'm going to do with Brazil. But for now, we're just going to take it as a win. So we've got a yellow plate here. Fairly short plates, for example. So, I mean, I would assume we are in Colombia. Well, are we? Let's move forward. Let's just. I mean, if we were doing a battle royale, we would be moving forward. Have we got the Colombian cross? We do. Okay. So, let's just try and get a correct region. It's fairly hilly. but not mountainous. Maybe I just don't know my Colombia that well. We were just outside Bogota. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, so this stubby antenna, I'm fairly sure this is typical of Ecuador. It's not the only place. So we've got, this is the other thing, the double guardrail. Yes, that's another thing that's apparently common in Ecuador. Obviously, we don't have that here, but that's something I just remembered having looked at GeoTips. But what were we talking about? I was talking about the stubby antenna. So, where's something on the car? Yeah, only one type of car is available, white car with a stubby antenna. I don't think that's strictly true. I think that might be a bit outdated. I'm pretty sure you've seen other cars. But I think this must be Ecuador. I did see in a zigzag video, actually, these concrete ditches, or concrete channels, not ditches. They are fairly typical of Ecuador. So let's go in the mountains. Yeah, we're just outside Quito. That's good stuff. Right, we've got a black car here. And I see the pole in the distance. We will go towards it. Okay. I'm still getting better at learning poles in South America. I think this is more typical of Argentina. So I think this is probably just like going to be, say, mid-northern Argentina. We were correct. That's good. Yeah, like I said, I need to get a bit better with utility poles. Speaking of which, well, these are not utility poles, obviously, but like we said before, we are in Peru here. We've got the sea to our south. Let's try and get a fairly nice guess in. Maybe something like this. Makes sense, or like, it seems fairly dry, doesn't it? So anything down here works. I'm just going to guess there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Where were we? We were there. Okay, fine. It was Peru though, regardless. So that is another country got. We're on a streak of 3. I haven't seen what the best is so far, but right. So this is a fairly obvious one, just because we've got sea to our west, which means, okay, so sea to our west, we're almost certainly going to be, unless that's a lake, which it doesn't look like a lake. So we would be in Ecuador, Peru, or Chile, but we've got the double white all white road lines. We've got green sign. I think it's typical green of Chile. Obviously, I've sort of went back and forth earlier in this video, but pretty sure you can see generally only the green signs in Chile. So yeah, this has got to be Chile, no? Somewhere here. Yeah. So we were on that road. I think that road is, yeah, you would see, if you see the sea directly to the west, it's less likely you're going to be on this Peruvian road and more likely you're going to be on the Chilean road, I guess. But you know, practice makes perfect. We will probably find out more information as we go along. I don't know with this one. I'm going to go along a little bit. Let's have a look at this sign. My first thought is, could this be Brazil? And I think it probably is, because I see this white plate now with the blue strip at the top, and I think that is Brazilian. I did also consider Mexico, to be honest, but I think I'm going to go Brazil. It doesn't look that Brazilian though, so I'm having second thoughts. Also, these poles don't seem very Brazilian. No, I think we're probably AR. .AR. Argentina. I was like, what's AR? We're apparently in Argentina. Okay. Right. let's just guess in Argentina. I was thinking it looked fairly, well, a bit more wintry. We were just outside Buenos Aires, and let's go to Argentina on Plonket and have a look. Ah, so yes, the Argentinian number plates have the white with the blue dot, or blue strip at the top. Obviously, the other thing they have is the black dot in the middle of the plate, which is quite typical to see. But if I go to Brazil, yeah, so Brazil also has the white plate with the blue top, but the blue bar can be found in Brazil as well. Right, so that's good to know. Obviously, we found the domain name there, which saved face a little bit. Right, so this does feel like Brazil, and we've got that number plate again. So I think I'm just going to go Brazil here. It obviously just looks a lot more Brazilian, and we were correct. That's good. Okay. Very exposed location. Yeah, double yellow lines in the middle. We've got, okay, well, so you've got the black and white striped, so we know it's Peru, but I think this is also very typical Peru, these concrete foundations on the signs. So that's something that's generally quite good to know. We're going to go down here. That was pretty damn close. Okay. Okay, what have we got here? Yellow road marker in the center. We got a metal sign. We do have the stubby antenna here, so I'm thinking this is probably Ecuador. I would say this is probably Ecuador. And if I remember right, when I was reading on GeoTips, isn't there a certain part of the country has a load of bananas? Or am I? No, it was somewhere else I read it. I think it was on Reddit. There's an area of the country that has a load of bananas, and I can't remember where it is. Is it very far north? No, it's probably west. Is what? Oh yeah, it was between Guayaquil and maybe Santo Domingo. Yeah. But anyways, that's a good tip. If I find out that information, I'll maybe flash it up on screen. Okay. Oh, I should know what these bollards are. I should know what these bollards mean. I think. What's the car color? Damn. Is it? I think it's Peru. I'm not sure. Let's go to GeoTips. That's what it's here for. There we go. Yes. That is apparently Ecuador. Right, interesting. Oh, there's our stubby antenna as well. Okay, so... Okay, right. This is why I'm doing this series, because I'm learning various things. Like, I was sure I'd seen that bollard somewhere, and it was Ecuador. So this bollard is typically found in Ecuador, and we're just going to guess there. That's correct. Okay. Wow, this is very interesting. We've got a black-backed sign, and we've got very red soil. The very red soil screams Brazil to me. Obviously, the black-backed sign too. There is a cross there. I've seen that in Brazil before. I've also seen it in Argentina. But this has got to be Brazil. There's no way this is not Brazil with this soil. I believe there are areas of Argentina that have red soil. I think Plonket, if I remember seeing correctly, there are areas with red soil. Could be, but I think this is Brazil. So last time I remember it was like around Goiás that had red soil. But apparently also down in Paraná. Okay, I think we'll make this the final 2 rounds. We're 4 out of 5 here, and I'm instantly seeing this is Uruguay, so I can give you some information here. This is obviously the black car, so that means we're in Argentina, Uruguay, or Peru. But this landscape obviously would say Uruguay or Argentina, but this very thick wooden post is, I think, unique to Uruguay, actually. You will see them in Bolivia, but not with the black car. So the other thing that I did learn from Zigzag, thank you Zigzag, is in Uruguay you see a lot of sort of clusters of trees. So stuff like that. That's very common to see in Uruguay, and also cows. But yeah, we're definitely in Uruguay here. So that's good. And we will go into the final round. Let's hope it's a good one. We've got a concrete road with the stubby antenna. So, and we see our Ecuadorian bollard. That is great to see that come up, because that reinforces the information in my head, because I forget this shit so easily. So another thing that I did see was that Ecuador very often has concrete roads. So that's another good bit of information. So we must be in Ecuador here. I will place it, and we are done. Right, we're going to leave it there. So much to cover in Latin America, and I've only just scratched the surface, and I need a lot of practice, that's for sure. There'll be another Latin America video at some point, as there will be another Eastern Europe video at some point. Won't be the next one, though. I want to cover a ton of different stuff, so we'll just see where we go with this. Either way, I hope you'll join me for it, and I thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.